Welcome everyone to another episode of Around the Block Talk. Today we have with us Mr. Rajesh. He's the CTO and co-founder at Zenith Chain. And very happy to have you with us today, Rajesh. I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah. So hi, Pratik. So thank you everyone for the opportunity, to tell more about Zenith Chain. So I'm Rajesh Chinnadurai, CTO co-founder of Zenith Chain. And so if you want to know about Zenith Chain, like Zenith Chain is a hybrid blockchain that has been, forked from Ethereum. And it's hybrid blockchain in the sense like, where we are stands, like ahead than the Taiwan, blockchains. Like we just like created this blockchain. Our CEO has a vision of just creating a blockchain which is like more faster, having a more faster transaction, as well as the transaction cost should be like very less. When you compare to Ethereum and Binance, like our transaction charges will be like very less. Like comparatively, it's negligible. Like it's 0.0001 cents. Like which is just not a charge at all. Whereas if you compare to Ethereum or Binance, the charges will be more higher, and so there we stand, like ahead than other blockchains. And the transaction speed, like if you take Ethereum or Binance or whatever, like it used to take like more than 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and even before Ethereum used to take like an hour, and even Bitcoin more than 2 hours, 3 hours. But our transaction speed is like 3 to 5 seconds max. So there we just stand apart and ahead from other blockchains, and that's how like Chain just came into alive from last year, last December. And Zenith Chain has its own utility coin that is like a native coin called Zenith coin, which has been built on the top of Zenith Chain. And Zenith coin is listed almost in like 7 top exchanges. And we have like community members of more than 250,000 community members who is already there with Zenith Chain. Yeah.
That's
So
great to know, Rajesh. So also you said that it is based on the Ethereum architecture, is it? And deriving from that. So what kind of vision do you have for Zenith Chain? So do you see it becoming a layer one chain or a layer two, or how have you designed it?
no, as of now, it's a layer two blockchain, and we are just upgrading. Actually, we are keep on working on upgrading our blockchain as well, because a blockchain is a base, a primary business, or a primary, like a focus technology of chain. So even though we have our own exchange, like centralized exchange, and we are the sooner going to release a complete ecosystem of a blockchain. Like we are just going to combine the CFI and the DeFi. I'm going to introduce a product called Fusion X. So where you can have the all kind of ecosystem products of blockchain, like NFT marketplace and tabs, and also like the browsers, app browsers, as well as the centralized exchange, which we already have in the name of Zenith CEX. So it has been going to be rebranded as like Fusion X. It's not exactly called rebranding. We are just creating a complete ecosystem on the top of Zenith centralized exchange. So that is Fusion X. So that's a recent product. So even though we are concentrating on more products, like even in the shorter term, but we are keep on upgrading our blockchain as well. For an example, if you take, when we introduced, when we launched, it was a layer one blockchain, which is, like hardly forked from Ethereum. But later on, for the past, 6 7 months, we are keep on upgrading it, and now it's layer two blockchain. Whereas transaction speed is like, for an example, as I told you, it can able to accommodate almost like 300,000 transaction per second. Our TPS is like 300K. So that's how we are upgrading ourselves, from layer one to layer two. And even we are working much more, because layer two is not more enough. Even a lot of competitors and other blockchain has, upgraded themselves to layer two. So now we are focusing on a beacon, a blockchain that is like layer three, or most, like advanced layer two, you can say. So we are working on that, and mostly like our CEO will announce about the launch and other stuff very soon.
Right, indeed. So also now you want to position the Zenith Chain as a layer two. So there are already number of players in the layer two domain. So one major player would be Polygon, and so we've seen how they are working. So what are the use cases you see that makes Zenith Chain stand out? Which are the particular use cases that it is being developed for, and what are the core USPs of Zenith Chain?
Yeah, if you say like use cases, as I told you, like a lot of like new projects that has been like many dApps are building on the top of Zenith Chain. So even we have a separate program to invite more the tab creators, or for the startups, like we are just giving conducting a program for kicking the startups to just develop on the top of our blockchain, and we are making them feel comfortable. And even if you're going for a deployment and other cost, if you go for like a Polygon or Ethereum or Binance, the deployment cost will be huge, whereas here we are providing it for free, as well as we are supporting them to immerse the market. So even when we are new to the market, when we launched, we faced many consequences and challenges, and we are completely helping the new upcoming projects. And even we are receiving like more than 100 and 200 new projects applications every day to host on to build on the top of Zenith Chain. We are reviewing it, and if we find it's better, and if you really find the use cases good, then we are just supporting them, even in the launching phase, even in the marketing, and also financially, like in developing and fine tuning the product, whatever they have. If the people have a good idea, and if they really have a good use cases, they can approach us. And yeah, it's ongoing. It's already on process, and we already adopted like 15 to 16 projects until now, and it's working on, and will be launched, maybe in upcoming months. Yeah. So other than that,
Right.
as I told you, like the Fusion X, and also our CEO has a vision to just like club, both crypto and the fiat payments. So that is another focus we are into, and most probably, like we are planning to have a separate product for clubbing both fiat and crypto, which will help us to like even emerge into e-commerce segment as well.
Right, indeed. So, in terms of technology, what kind of improvements have been made in the design of Zenith Chain, and how the high TPS or the low gas fees have been achieved?
Yeah, the thing is, like it's that's not a big deal. That's what I said. You like even before we just start designing or developing a product, we had only two things in our mind, whereas we can able to stand ahead or apart from other blockchain. One is like transaction speed, and that has been like even it's more much like or even competitors like Solana, Oregon able to do that, but ours is it's much cheaper. It's negligible. It's like a zero cost. And so the transaction cost we can able to met at the same, like the transaction speed, it's like 3 to 5 seconds, whereas all our competitors are just exceed more than 10 to 15 seconds to confirm the transaction. Where these are the major two places we stand apart from the other blockchains, other competitors, and we are keep on working on it. And even for the beacon, we have a few more like interesting features that we are going to implement and club with our current blockchain. So you can expect a much enhanced and well developed blockchain, which will be uh, an iconic product of Jenny for sure.
Right, indeed. So, one challenge for a blockchain is the technology itself. And now, the second challenge will be to drive its adoption. And so, as you say, you are trying to create an ecosystem. You're building, you're getting in depth on your chain. So, what kind of efforts are being put into doing that, and how is that being driven?
No, the thing is, like as you know very well, like whatever the technology that has been introduced to the market, which is commons to entering the market, which will have a very less competition initially, and once it's got boom, we'll have more competitors who's jumped in and doing it. But all the newcomers and all the startups that has stepped in the past previously 3 years or 4 years of period, like they all have a very similar kind of a product. Either they will be a completely focus on blockchain, or if they enter into a blockchain industry like with an exchange, so completely they'll focus on crypto coins or something like that. So their use cases will be on a particular segment, and they'll stick to it. Whereas we are just focused on multi use cases and multi things that we are into. So mainly into fintech, and another one is into the blockchain industry. So this is the main two focus we are into now, and even our CEO have a lot of more visions and ideas where we are just planning to go ahead, since we have a complete well designed roadmap for next 10 years. So we are quite comfortable, and we are almost like we are moving so fast, because in past 6-7 months we launched 3 products, and which is highly challenging, and also it's quite okay for us. So that's what we feel to go ahead for next, like the decon blockchain as soon as possible, and after that we'll focus on other use cases and make ourselves uh, different from others.
Right, indeed. So also today in the ecosystem, we see a number of blockchain solutions, number of layer two solutions. So how do you think the market is going to evolve? Is there space for for multiple solutions, or do you think a few blockchains winning out and most of the adoption through them? So how do you think, is it a winner take all, or there's a space for a number of blockchain solutions out there?
No, sorry, I didn't get your question properly.
Right, in the sense that do you think that this is going to be a winner take all kind of a situation where only a few blockchains are going to dominate the market, or do you think there is space for a number of niche blockchains, and do you see a number
Yeah,
of blockchains?
yeah, I got it. Actually, it's not like that. Only very particular blockchains is going to rule a market. It's not like that. When during 2000, 13 to 15, only very few, only like 3 to 4 blockchains were there in existing, and now it's like enormous. We have like huge, more than 80 to 90 blockchain companies are existing, and they are into our market. And in a long run, the people used to just develop their own blockchain for their own use cases. So it will be like that. The market will go in a narrow way. It's not going to be a broad way. Like it will be a completely narrow. Like if for an example, if Pratik has his own use cases, okay, instead of going and developing on another, like a blockchain on the top of a blockchain, he'll create a blockchain, which is suits for his use cases, and which will be like suit much for it, and it will be he will create his own blockchain and will go off. So it will be more most common, and even a more number of blockchain that comes in, and even the competitive competition comes into the scenario. It will be like a healthy competition, and everyone will have an opportunity. It's not like everything that lets up, or very particular players will rule the industry. It's not like that. So everyone having have an equal opportunity to prove themselves and to play in the market.
Right, that's great to know. So geographically, where is your team located, and where is your firm located?
Yeah, our CEO, he is from Ireland, Mr. Jonathan Emmanuel, and our CBO, Miss Vivian uh, Agbata. She is also from Ireland, and myself, CTO and co-founder. I'm from India, basically. I'm from Chennai, India, and our other team members are located in like United States, and they are from Lithuania, and someone is from Dubai and Singapore. So our team members has been scattered across the board. So we are present globally, and our company has been headquartered at Lithuania, and we do have crypto license and other things based out of Lithuania. And recently we acquired a license, and our company got incorporated in Dubai as well. in UAE.
Right, indeed. So now uh, blockchain being a kind of database, and so the competition that it has today is with the central servers versus the distributed system in versus a decentralized and distributed in blockchain. So some of the things that blockchain today lose out on is probably the transaction speed and so number of challenges there. So it's not easily upgradable. So do you think the blockchain ecosystem becoming more efficient than the central system in the coming time and winning out over even central solutions providing better services?
Yeah, obviously, like so, blockchain system is, it's completely, it's it's growing enormously, and it's a fine tuning, each and every day. For an example, we are enhancing our own system each and every day, like, or to provide the services to, like increase the efficiency of the blockchain each and every day. So likewise, even all the competitors are doing it, and so it will never going to have any kind of a downtime. No, generally, whatever the system is, it will have a downtime. But whereas if you take, like a blockchain, it is not going to have a downtime at all. So it's upgrading and it's enhancing by itself, in the period of time, over a period of time, it's growing.
Right, indeed. So also now you're building an ecosystem on your blockchain. So where do you geographically where do you think the adoption for Zenith chain is going to be driven from? Do you see it more from the developed market or more from the emerging economy? Where do you see that?
No, the thing is, like nowadays, crypto has been, spreaded across the world. Actually, even, like, if you say a company, countries which is, like restricted the crypto, like US, China, and even recently the ban has been, like it has been legalized in India as well. Okay, so the number of users are more only in this part of, like the country, basically. And if you take, South Africa, it's Brazil, so South America, and African countries. So it's spread across, and we are touch, keep on focusing on untouched markets like Brazil, Latin America, and Central Africa, as well as India and few other Asian countries that we are focusing on. So we are touching, like we are just emerging into untouched areas, and mostly, like, we have a lot of community members, and we have good communities on these, like locations. So one day, with the, like the feedbacks from a community, we just, did an R&D for more than 3 to 4 months, and only after that we could able to, come to a conclusion that we should develop such a product, which would we have a complete ecosystem, that is Fusion Next. So our main focus will be like, if you want to list me countries like Vietnam, India, UAE, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Brazil, uh, Thailand, as well as Egypt. So these are the main countries we are focusing on, and Brazil as well.
Right. So your strategy is to go into untapped markets where
Yeah,
probably
obviously, yeah. Since even we have good community members, and we have a good backup there, so that's why.
right, indeed. So also one challenge that we have with blockchain products is mass adoption is not there still, and there's limited education around what probably NFTs mean, what cryptocurrencies mean. So how do you see mass adoption taking place of blockchain products and in the near future? How do you see that evolving?
Okay, I just want to quote one example here. Okay, let's say a very recent a mass adoption, that is Google Pay, or Phone Pay. Okay, only after COVID, only after the demonetization, in India, like let's say across the world, only after the COVID, people starts using these kind of payment systems, and even illiterate, who doesn't have like education, or who just doesn't know how to even operate a phone or something like that, is much, gets into this payment system, and he's using it. So the people just like got adopted to the digital payment system very easily, just in very few months, let's say. So mass adoption will come, and even nowadays, before a couple of years, before this ban and other stuff, people might doesn't know about crypto much, but now each and every person, and mostly 30 to 40% of population just got a better knowledge and education about the educated about the crypto, and it will slowly it will convert. Once it's these systems comes into e-commerce and other payment systems, and automatically people will just adopt it easily. So where we can able to get the mass adoption of the crypto very soon, in a couple of years. That's what we are focusing on.
Okay, great. And so I believe one of the strong use case for your blockchain is DeFi, as you mentioned. So
Yeah.
what is the future of DeFi? Do you see what kind of ecosystem do you see evolving? And do you see mass adoption for DeFi coming soon?
Yeah. So even we are planning for the payment gateways that has been, going to integrate with a lot of e-commerce, system, and also the payment system, even for the hotel reservation or something like that. Even Binance, even the other competitors, they just emerge into UAE market, and they just introduced the ticket bookings and even the hotel reservation through crypto. So this is one of the way where we can go ahead for mass adoptions. Whereas just introduce our payment system along with other payment systems so that the people can just enter into it, and whereas they can able to don't want to spend much on the transaction fees and other things. Whereas if they spend on credit card or whatever it may be, they have to pay like 1% or 2% of the charge. Percent of the transaction. They have to pay the charges for 2% of the entire transaction, which is not there in our own crypto payment system. So likewise, the people go for mass adoptions in these cases, and even that's what our focus is. So, even we are planning for digital bank too very soon.
Right. That's great to know. So also one challenge that uh, comes with every blockchain ecosystem is the interoperability. And so once your own solution becomes interoperable with a number of them, then your network, it becomes easier to grow your network, get adoption in that. And so are you working on that aspect as well? And what are you working
Yeah. For an example, let's say, so our ecosystem, it's supposed, it support everything, both CFI and DeFi. So once the people just want to enter into something, they don't want to prefer one provider for one kind of a services and another provider for another kind of a services. So only very 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 few players in the market have this, and so we are one among them, only two or three, and we are one among them who is going to provide the complete services of the, like the blockchain and the crypto system as well. So even if it's an NFT marketplace or a tap or whatever it may be, we are just, providing all kind of services in a single platform, and that's why we are, you know, like uh, just dance.
Right, indeed. So, Rajesh, summing it up, and what kind of future do you see for Zenith Chain, and what motivated you in the first place to start this and build it?
Yeah. So our CEO, as I told you, our CEO has this plan and passion in order to just build a blockchain. When he used to make a transaction of like $100 worth of crypto, he paid almost like $40 as a gas fee, okay, as a transaction fee. And even that transaction, took like more than 3 to 4 hours to get confirmed. So at that instance, he has some idea. Whereas we just want to develop a blockchain where it should have at better speed and also like less cost, which is which is a common requirement for each and every person who just want to jump into crypto. So that is the thing. So even the mass adoption was not possible like long before, just because due to the transaction fees and the time. Because for an example, before, if like Binance or the Zenith or even Polygon, many blockchain comes in, the transaction charges was high. So the small investors, the newcomers has to invest more to trade or just enter into a market. But whereas not, it's not necessary now. Even if you have a $10, you can jump into crypto and you can start trading. Whereas your transaction charges will be like lesser than 10 cents or 5 cents. So it's possible now. So likewise, he just had an idea and a vision to build a blockchain, and so we just came together and we started our R&D and other things from 2020, and we started developing in the year of 2021 March, and we could be able to complete it by December, and even we did our ICO and IEO, and we launched in 6 exchanges at the time, December 6th. So that was uh, entry into a market. And now we have a good number of community members. We have good adopters, and even we raised a few seed raise in the past 6 months to various VCs like GEM, Global Emerge Markets. So they just invested on project like it's a tokenization starts with $25 million. So that's how we are looking for more VCs, as well as we are planning to enhance our own products and releasing in a periodical manner. Whereas we just want to stick into our roadmap and the commitment which we already given to our community.
Sure, Rajesh. And with that, thank you very much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure to host you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the thanks for your opportunity, and wish everyone success. Thank you.